Hi everyone and welcome back. I just want to do a couple of bits today, nothing major. I want to fire these two up just to get them circulated and warm. £950, not sold in 2 weeks, but I think it will. £750, category N in the past. Runs and rides beautifully. This one's not a happy starter. You can't put any throttle in at all. It hates throttle when starting and warming up. So yeah, but that's fine. I want to test that this morning. It hasn't been started in 2 weeks. I expect it to start. Just press the button and wait. Just let it do its thing. I haven't put this back together yet because I haven't kind of found time. I'm tired, and the handway is on a bonfire somewhere. A young guy and a friend or someone, two came along, and I told them big time that they're unlikely to fix that handway. And I was open and honest. You have to be open and honest because you don't want people coming back saying you lied to me and this and that. They'd need a new wiring loom, maybe a CG1, CG, CDI, and then you'd have to work out what wires go where, and it would be a good running bike. Saying that, for me, I like serviceable bikes nowadays. I don't like ones that you probably can't service in the future. So I'm picking a bit more carefully. My real only task for today is on the cd200. I want to get it out. I want to look at that new tank. I might have to bolt that new tank down. I might have to drill a couple of holes or one to bolt it down. And then I just want to see if it runs and rides. It should do. But I haven't once yet got to run it up and down the road, and I'm gutted because at times it's idled and felt great, but it's not just been right yet. So it's on a new carb, new tank now, new fresh fuel. I really want to be able to run it up and down. That'll be the highlight to my day if that happens. So let me grab the keys for these, fire these up. I'll put you on the stand just to show you. This one's my biggest concern, although at £750 I'm not that fussed, I'm going to be honest. And let's see how easily they fire up. I have no doubt that will fire up in seconds. I need to go to Halfords later and do a load of bulbs. I didn't quite get to the issue on this yet. I just think it all needs new bulbs. I just think dump all new bulbs in and then we'll go from there. Right, let's get them keys and the stand. So both keys are in. Let's see how much of a hard time this one gives me with starting. Stone cold. I've got to be honest, part of the issue there is low battery, right? Before that sells, the battery needs to be full. It's the same battery I was using for a couple of weeks. It started better than I thought. I think I've got a brand new carb in the garage. I'd be tempted to put on a brand new carb. That's fine. Part of me wonders if the choke system's working at all or working properly, because it's a little bit iffy at start. I bet that thing starts no issue at all. That's one of the smoothest scooters I've ever had. That's on now, but you can't hear it because this old beauty's kicking over. That is one of the smoothest, nicest scooters. Whoever gets that is getting a serviceable, smooth, great running scooter. I can't believe how quiet it is. It's unbelievable. Right, you don't need to watch it, but I'm going to let them sit for a good 10 minutes. Because I want the oil to circulate. I want the fuel in the lines to be flushed through. Remember, new E10 fuel, which is probably in there, it gums up quite quickly, guys. It's not great stuff. So if you're ever sitting on projects for a few weeks, run them for 10 minutes every week. Get the old fuel lines cleaned through, get the oil circulated, get the fuel moving. Right, we're over here. I'm very, very, very happy with this tank and how it came out. Like, really happy with that. At the moment, it's not secure. I'm thinking just one bolt down through there, and I'll cut a thread on it and just bolt it through. I don't want to go too nuts. It does have to be secure though. The other thing is when the seat's flushed with it, that helps secure it as well. But saying that, I'm thinking one bolt straight down there, keep it simple. And then if I remember rightly, the rear seat, this bolt hole here needs pulling back to here and here, but the frame kind of gets in the way a touch, so I need to be careful. But yeah, I think I need a hole here and here, or I need to look at how I get it to sit a touch better. I'm quite happy with the coil being where it is. I'd rather it be on maybe 2 metal cable ties, maybe, you know, something that looks a bit more secure and full time, or I need to move it somewhere else. I could just tuck it in here. I think it'd be better if I just tucked it in here. Look, if I just picked it up, tucked it in here, and then we'll tie it to all these cables on one side so it's sitting up here, and it don't go that far back. It'll ultimately be sitting there on top of the cables, tied to the cables as long as they're not taut. Well, not really tied to them, but in fact, look, the whole loom's there. That'll be a good point. And there's a metal bracket on the left. I think that's my best bet. Chuck it up in there, cable tie it up in there, because it just looks a bit, I mean, part of me likes this look, but if them cable ties rattle and snap off, you lose your engine running along. Safety hazard, really. There's no fuel in this yet. Do I want a fuel filter? Probably not at this stage. I'm probably going to go straight down onto the carb at this stage, because it's a brand new tank. There's a filter in the tank. The fuel will be brand new. I don't think I need to worry about that. So yeah, all good. So need a little hole down here. I'll drill a pilot, take the tank off, finish it. Let me just double check, and then I'll tap that hole to whatever size it should be. I'll put a simple bolt down on that tank just to make sure it's secure. A bit of fuel line from there to there, that's quick and easy. I'll leave the coil where it is for now, just because I just want to test this bike, make sure it's a runner rider. Yeah, that's the next step really. Get the tank secure, get some fuel in, test that it's a runner rider. oil circulated, it's all warm. That's it. So a simple hole and a simple bolt under here. Your best bet for this one is to put a 10mm under here, look, grip it at an angle, and then 10mm on the top. But it's fine, it's doing its job. Rock solid, it's not going anywhere. I think let's put some fuel in. I'll chuck the seat on loose. Let's see if this bike idles and will run up and down the street. There's no point carrying on until we know exactly what it is or isn't doing, I think. I believe I've got some sort of cone filter under in the airbox. An ideal would be to get an original airbox. I spent 40 quid on what was pictured as a full airbox, and what came was just a thin surround. You can put a kind of second filter over the old one when the old one's disintegrated. Rubbish, bad advertisement that. But when I went back and read the small print, it did say just a filter. But the truth is, the picture and everything else said that it was the whole filter. Let's do it. Let me find some fuel line and put some fuel in. I'm a bit nervous about putting fuel in. I don't want to ruin that tank, but it won't. It shouldn't. There's only a touch of fuel in here. I'll run down and get more. I don't even want to run it on what little is in here, really. I'd rather put the whole 5 litres in. Let's see if it's holding fuel at least. There's only a tiny bit of fuel line on it. What I think I'm going to do is go and get 3 litres of premium, and then it will have a slightly longer life E5 in there. I think I'm going to go and do that run now. This is 4 litres of E5 now. Choke. Oh shit, we are flowing fuel. Look, where's that coming from? That's weird. Where is that coming from? That was coming out really high up here. Ah, the overflow tube. Seems like the float's got stuck or something. Let's soak up as much of this extra fuel as we can. We've done little bits of paint on the bike. That's frustrating. That happens sometimes with these carbs. When you put them back on, sometimes the float goes angled, gets stuck. Sometimes it's a constant battle. Once you get it, it seems to be okay. Right, so what we're looking at here is this bit down here. I'm trying not to block it, but I also just don't want fuel going everywhere. So we're looking at this here. What happens is the fuel comes up high, some now goes into the engine, sometimes it can come back into the airbox, and most will come out through this tube. But you have to then work out why is it doing that. I think the float, probably didn't shut off the fuel. Let's try again, let's see what happens. It shouldn't overflow, there's no reason why it should overflow. So it's filling up. Hopefully the float loosened up now and has actually stopped it. It's not normally a problem that carries on because it's a new carb. It's normally a problem that happens on installation when the float gets a bit jammed. Normally once you've loosened it up, it goes back to being okay. Like right now the fuel is on. It's not over fueling yet, but it did take a minute last time, didn't it? Hopefully I've loosened it all up just with a tap. I know it all seems sketchy, but that is also the reality of carved bikes. Let's see if we do anything. We fire up. Let's see if anything happens.